We could start, Assemblyman Johnson, with the news of the day. And clearly, there are a lot of incendiary stories about Alexandra Soriano Tavares. Do you think, in the interest of the party, that Bergen Democrats should go in another direction at this point? Do you think that she's been unfairly treated and her comments weaponized for local political reasons? What's your thought today?
I think that the statement made in that edited piece that I saw, it was hurtful language for sure, coded language calling for a boycott of certain businesses on Cedar Lane, and it's unfortunate language. Unfortunately, she chose to say it that way. Now, should the party, and this is a party choice, by the way. I don't choose my candidates. We have an open process here in Bergen County. She followed the procedures, the bylaws of the county, as it were. So she is now going through the vetting process at the Democratic Bergen County Democratic Committee. So if they will determine if you know what they're going to do with her as a candidate. So that's how I feel about that.
Would you prefer to run with someone else?
I think she's a good candidate. I think she's good. She made a mistake, and I think she filled out a wonderful ticket with an Asian and a Latina, and then an African American as going together for the 37th to represent the 37th district. So I think that if the democratic process, I have to turn this phone off. If this process,
I didn't know you were a good, the bad, and the ugly fan.
I know, yeah, I know. So your question is, should we go forward with this candidate? In my opinion, I feel it's not for me to say. I think it's for the democratic process, the DCBC to play it out. They have I know there are a lot of individuals in the Orthodox community that are very upset about this. She did send an apology out and try to explain her position. And I would rather see how the party is going to handle this situation going forward. So, but as I said before, initially having an Asian and a Latina and an African American representing 37th district, I thought was a wonderful first for the district. So, and that's the answer for that.
Assemblyman, you're not known for being the most fiery legislator in Trenton. You're not a demagogue, but might people have overlooked those occasions when you bucked the power structure? Could you tell me at least one instance where you actually went against the grain of the party or of the leadership in Trenton, or on a significant issue took a stand against the Democratic Party establishment?
I can only refer to early on when the party tried to throw us off the line in Bergen County, and with the leadership of Loretta Weinberg, and of course I was there alongside her, but with her leadership, I learned that being independent at times is beneficial, and being yourself. So, and sometimes you have to stand up and fight for what you feel is right. So I have bucked the line that way. Now, also, I realize that Trenton is a city of compromise. It's a city, that's what we do in Trenton. We work out deals, we have bills we put forward. Some folks like them, other folks don't like them. You discuss them, you debate them, and in the end of the process, you have a bill that goes to the governor's desk. That's how we work. So whether it be, it's North Jersey has a certain take, or a certain, and it may impact North Jersey differently than it does South Jersey. But to listen to everyone involved in Central Jersey, and to listen to everyone involved to their issues about legislation, and then coming together with a bill in the end is so important. And that's what I like to do.
Could you give me an example? Pardon me, Assemblyman. Could you give me an example of an instance where that art of compromise may have gotten you something where someone else might have been railing and ranting publicly, but perhaps closing off that opportunity for dialogue and advancing an issue?
Well, I never, each legislator has a different personality. So, and therefore, I really do not, or cannot give you an example of a legislator who was out there ranting and raving about a certain issue where they didn't want to compromise or discuss it with others, or even come up with a solution that would even include the thoughts of others who are against a particular idea or bill. Now, and for an example, you take the decrim bill, the decriminalization,
Right.
which went through a lot of debate, including the Legislative Black Caucus and members of the Latino Caucus and others from all sides of the state were involved in debating and arguing and discussing this bill. And there were some legislators who were adamant about what they wanted to see in there, and there are others that wanted things taken out. But in the end, once it got to the Senate President and the Speaker, then went to the desk of the governor's desk, we had a bill. Not a perfect bill, but it was a bill. But that, again, is an example I like to talk about when it comes to people coming together to debate different ideals and come up with a product that everyone can sign on to, or a majority can sign on to. So, but in that process, there were those who were steadfast and didn't want to change anything. There are others who were a little more lenient, wanted to agree with the other side. And through conversation and dialogue with each other and the other side, you come up with a bill, an idea.
Sir, you were an early backer of Governor Phil Murphy. Could you tell me, maybe the first legislator from Trenton to actually publicly back him, and certainly in a volatile period in Bergen, you jumped out and supported him. Could you tell me why you thought we needed another Goldman Sachs dude as the governor? And also, do you think you've been vindicated? Do you think that he's been a good governor and made the tough decisions and actually led the state to your liking?
Okay, I liked Governor Phil Murphy early on. He was an ambassador to Germany, so he was a public servant. Of course, he worked for Goldman Sachs too. But even in Goldman Sachs, he was posted outside the shores of the United States. I think he worked in Asia back then. And then, of course, the ambassador to Germany. But he was also a public servant for this country. And I like that about him. He's worldly. He's been around. He could promote New Jersey as a place to do business, to open up businesses, and to expand businesses in our different neighbors outside of the United States, such as Europe and Asia. I thought that was important to me. He'd have the ability or the relationships to have businesses invest in New Jersey, which I thought was very important. And yes, I believe my support of him early on has paid off for the state, because he's done. I think Phil's done a great job with this COVID-19 situation that we're in, and his leadership there, I believe, has been instrumental in getting these vaccines to the people who need them, and not just those who are fortunate, but the uninsured and underinsured in this state will now have an opportunity to get this vaccinated through the plans that's going forward from his desk.
Assemblyman Johnson, you mentioned the governor's worldliness. I'd like to touch on your travel outside the country, and specifically your service for our country. You did participate in Operation Desert Storm. You were decorated. You also were involved in protecting our state after 9/11. But could you talk a little bit specifically about your service in Iraq and how that informed your sense of public service as a legislator?
Yes, I served in Desert Storm in years 90 to 91, and Operation Joint Endeavor, which is a conflict in Bosnia, 95, 96. But in that conflict, I was stationed at higher headquarters in Germany. But that posting, or that time in my life, working with soldiers from all around the United States, because our reservists come together as a team, and we go and accomplish the mission as a team. So it's about leadership, it's about team spirit, it's about accomplishing the mission, and it's about getting your men and women who serve under you home at the end of the tour as safely as you can, without injury and without death. So in military leadership, it's about accomplishing the mission and taking care of the men and women under you. And I strongly believe in that today. So even as a police officer in Inglewood, when I was a police officer there, serving the people of the city of Inglewood about enforcing the laws, what have you, public safety. It was about treating people fairly and getting that mutual respect, not just from other police officers, but people in the street, and also from the bad guys. Some of the bad guys respected me as a police officer because I treated them right, and it's just that there was this sense of fairness about me when I had to make an arrest or had to detain someone. So that has always been with me from my police days and from my military days.
Sir, could you tell me, since you are in a Democratic primary fight, what the main issue is where you and your opponent, Assemblywoman Valerie Benary Huddle, may have a significant space between the two of you, where you might differentiate yourself? Is there any significant issue in your judgment where the two of you have a decidedly different point of view?
I think we represent the 37th district, which is a moderate and actually kind of progressive, you could say, district. I think we're both moderate to progressive. So our bills are very similar. I have concentrated more on the business side, businesses. I've concentrated on the military, veterans affairs, and I concentrated on law enforcement, our public safety personnel in the state, because that is my background. Now, and I feel that in those three areas, particularly on the business side, I feel it's very important, the number one, that we ensure that minority and women-owned businesses have access to capital and have access to enter the game, so to speak, with the game of business. So as we go forward, I've been going forward even now, we're putting in bills now to ensure that there's funding out there so these young African-American individuals, male, female, or veterans that want to come into business in this state, or people with disabilities might want to do a business, that there's funding there for them. There's a way for them to procure contracts or what have you, or at least get the capital to open and also, or maybe expand their businesses. That's how I feel about business. Also on the business side, green energy. It's important that we get off fossil fuel. I'm proud and I'm glad I was part of delegations that traveled to, I think it was Sweden and Northern Germany, to view the offshore wind operations that were going on in those countries, which we're now going to have off the shore of Atlantic City. And as the company came to New Jersey, they're setting up shop down in Paulsboro now. Well, setting up shop meaning they've established, or they procured a site for fabricating these large windmills. So in the Paulsboro port, and I'm glad I'm part of that. I'm a part of that because we were there. The delegations were there talking to these people, trying to ensure that they want to come to Jersey. They could come to Jersey and install this system that'll get us off of fossil fuel to generate energy.
Assemblyman, we've been through so much in this scourge, and an inflection point last year was the police killing in Minnesota of George Floyd, and you occupy a unique space as an African-American law enforcement officer. Can you tell me what you see as New Jersey's reaction to that incident, that killing, and what remains to be done on that front in this state?
Yeah, I honestly feel that the training the police officers get in New Jersey through the Police Training Commission, the PTC, may be a bit superior to what they're getting in other parts of the country. The curriculum that's set forward in the basic courses in police and also in the in-service courses, I think, I'm not so sure that other states where the issues occurred have these opportunities for police officers to learn about cultural differences and about how to handle others with disabilities, the courses that we have here in this state. So I think that, yes, it's a sad story. It's a sad commentary to see what's witnessing these police killings in these other neighboring, well, not neighboring states, but other states. But I think the training and the vetting process we have here for police officers in this state has really paid off for us, and is it's a positive for us in New Jersey. So we should continue to ensure that our law enforcement personnel remain as professional as they are. We should ensure they have the resources they need to perform their mission and have the equipment they need to perform their mission, but also ensure that the people they protect feel that they are safe and will be treated fairly when in contact with a law enforcement personnel.
Sir, what are you proudest of in terms of your legislative accomplishments and service, and what do you want to remind voters of in terms of your work product?
Mm-hmm. I think I'm most proud of being on the bill that got rid of the death penalty in New Jersey early on, and I also the DNA legislation that was passed that allowed people to show that they were innocent from innocent of the crime they were found guilty of when they were incarcerated, and also gave the police a tool to investigate crimes as they went forward. So the DNA bill is very important to me, and trying to bring hydrogen fuel cell energy to the state of New Jersey. So either in automobiles or in stationary form. So these are things, three things I'm proud of.
What'd you learn most from the senator who now occupies the seat in the 37th district that you're seeking?
Yeah, Senator Loretta Weinberg has been a mentor to me for 15 years or so, and 18 years actually, 18 years. I've learned so much from her about not just about legislation and how Trenton works when it comes to getting bills through, but also I've learned how to the politics of New Jersey and Bergen County and outside of Bergen County. So it's been an 18-year apprenticeship, you could say, under her, and she's been you could say almost like a grandmother to me when it comes to providing me guidance and instruction, and she's a great tutor.
Just two more questions, sir, and I appreciate your time again. Do you have any thoughts on the Senate presidency? Are you in a position where you can say who you choose to support for another term? Are you looking at backing Senate President Steve Sweeney for another term?
I'm not giving that much thought. I'm not giving that much thought at all. I do know that if I'm successful in this and I move on to that House, I will be able to work with anyone who's in that position. I've always been tried to work together with anyone, whether either side of the aisle. So, but that I have not given much thought to.
And the last question I have is, what do you think of Bergen County Democratic Committee Chairman Giuliano's handling of this volatile situation in the 37th district? How do you think he's done in terms of his leadership ability?
I think poor Paul's probably lost some hair in this one, got a lot of stress in this one here, but he's done a good job with it. He's mastering this thing well. It's a lot of landmines out there, of course, but he's getting through it, and he's doing it and following the bylaws of the DCVC. So same within the confines of the bylaws, and he's trying to weather this thing and ensure that that not only will the DCVC be successful in the end, which of course that would be me, but also hopefully me. I'm not vetted yet. The convention is not until the 15th, but hopefully me. But it's just these conflicts come up, and he's getting through it. And I like his leadership thus far, in my opinion, is good.
Sir, anything you'd like to add to what we talked about today? I look forward to having another discussion, hopefully in the coming weeks, but for our purposes today, is there anything else that you want us to be aware of, or that you want to say to the voters?
Just that this is a democratic process that we're going through. It's what we do. It shows that this democratic process works. You know, I chose to follow the rules of the DCBC and go door to door and get signatures. Like I'm a hands-on kind of person. That's what I do. I prefer being in the field, so to speak. So going and speaking to people about their issues and trying to solicit their support, I enjoy doing it. And most said yes, some said no. But that is what I will continue to do as my career goes forward.
Assemblyman Gordon Johnson, thank you again, sir. Look forward to talking
Thanks for having
to you
me.
soon. Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye-bye.